Deebo.
Deebo was a character in one of the greatest movies of all time, Friday. He was a muscle-bound bully who exploited other guys in the hood by using his physical prowess. The movie centers around two characters, Craig, played by Ice Cube, and his best friend Smokey, played by Chris Tucker. These two are involved in quite a few shenanigans on this particular Friday in LA. On their journey, they encounter Deebo several times, and he punks them at will, along with several other victims. At one point, immediately after getting chumped off by Deebo, as Deebo walked away, Smokey states, "I got mind control over Deebo. He be like, shut the fuck up. I be quiet. But when he leave, I be talking again."
What's your Deebo? What's taking your money? Robbing you of your peace? What has you doing things you really don't want to do? What is that thing bringing negativity your way, playing with your time, and throwing your energy off? What do we need to send walking out of our life and gain mind control over?
For the purpose of this video, Deebo will be used figuratively to represent vices, anxiety, bad environments, anger, depression, procrastination, lack of motivation, haters, addiction, low confidence, and whatever it is impeding your progress on becoming the best version of you. Note, Deebo did get his ass whooped at the end of the movie. Deebo was sleeping with Craig's prospective girlfriend's sister, Felicia, known as the neighborhood junkie. He assumed Felicia stole from him, when in actuality it was Smokey. Nevertheless, Deebo roughed up Felicia, and when confronted by her sister Debbie, the chick who Craig wanted, he slapped fire to Debbie, which provoked Craig to intervene. The two men engaged in fisticuffs, Craig proving victorious, and the hood erupted with joy. Craig's mom was just grinning from ear to ear. Smokey wouldn't stop screaming, "That's my dog!" I think Craig even hit Debbie that night. I gotta look at the movie one more time, even though I done saw it like 50 times. Nevertheless, Craig had the ability to defeat Deebo the entire time, but Deebo actually had mind control over Craig by using his own fears against him. And that fear was getting that ass whooped.
It took Debbie little sexy ass to wake that lion up in Craig.
But we gotta ask ourselves, what's gonna wake that lion up in us? Is it tragedy? Is it lack? Is it adversity? Is it a big juicy check? Is it power, self-mastery, growth, passion, purpose? One thing for certain, when that motivation comes internally as opposed to externally, the drive is more sustainable. Anxiety and depression can be a real Deebo. And you might even think you can't live without the meds the doctor prescribed you. I'm not saying go cold turkey on your meds, yet there's alternative treatments for psychological issues. And to be honest, most people's anxieties are based in irrational fear. Make sure your diet is clean, lay off the sugar, fats, the salt, get your daily dose of fruit, vegetables, work out. Stay active, engage in hobbies, pursue your purpose, get enough sleep, cut back on that caffeine, alcohol, and smoking, and chances are your anxiety will diminish tremendously. And you can flip that shit around and start tearing off in Deebo ass. Look, your Deebo might be drugs, and that's a strong ass Deebo. You used to use drugs to party a little bit. Next thing you know, you relying on drugs to cope with traumas from the past. You tried to quit a few dozen times, if not 100 times, but times got uneasy and you reverted right back to that old outlet. Temporary relief from everything that has not gone, is not going, and might not go your way. If you're someone who has quit for a day, a week, or multiple times, you've acknowledged you have an issue, you have the desire to overcome, and you've taken steps to change. Have you tried support groups, isolating yourself from triggers, influencers, enablers? Do you have a positive outlet? hobbies, something to replace that not so positive habit. Change is not easy and transformation is not overnight. You have to keep chipping away. A quadruple cheeseburger might be your Deebo. You might not have any other addictions or vices, or maybe you do. But one thing for certain, when that goddamn Krispy Kreme light start flashing hot and ready, your ass there quick in a hurry and probably near the front of the line. You got 3 chins and counting. You got to make an educated guess to figure out which one your real chin, or use a lifeline. I need to lose weight in my face ass. Seriously though, eat better, stay active, implement a workout regimen, invest in your body, and just drive to the gym and just sit in the parking lot. That's a start. Speaking of working out, some people will get a gym pass and don't even use it, or start to use it and stop. But getting a gym pass is a step. You've acknowledged that you can be in better shape. That's step 1. You went and signed up for the gym. That's step 2. Now, if you missed a lot of time or you just never went, do 5 sets of push-ups, 10 push-ups a set. Do some sit-ups, crunches, body weight squats, and body weight lunges right now. Get your blood flowing and just break the ice. You can do that at home, in the backyard, in the office, wherever you at. The hardest part is starting, taking that initial leap and just doing it. You can start working out with body weight exercises right now. You trying to start a business? Start jotting down ideas. Look up how to make a business plan or who to hire to make a business plan. You thinking about writing a book? You got to write down those ideas. You got to make an outline. You might have to hire a cover designer. Do research on editing and publishing. If you're serious about anything, take those initial steps to get the ball rolling. Then stick to it regardless of the setbacks and stay consistent. Experts say it takes 21 days to form any habit. Can you commit a little time, 21 days in a row, to start a new habit and break through to the next level? You have to take steps. That takes effort, commitment, and persistence. There's no shame in getting off track. Just get back on. Another example of Deebo is coworkers who don't want you to advance past them. So they gossip, pretend like they're cool just to get the inside scoop on you. They try to dirty your face so that others have a lower opinion of you. All the time they could have been using that same energy to improve their own sorry ass situation. Regardless, we must attain mind control over Deebo. If you cross your T's and dot your I's, there's nothing to worry about. People can say anything. People can accuse you of anything, even legally. But if there's no truth behind it, and it's not valid, then it carries no weight. That's why we have to be thorough in all that we do. First, that's how we should conduct ourselves anyway. Secondly, let's not give haters any ammo to shoot us with. Plus, when you sense someone or someone proves that they don't really fuck with you like that, take it serious. Because they really don't fuck with you like that. And they would love to see you in the worst situation, the worst predicament possible. They would even contribute to it if they could. Next is Deebo your temperament. Were you raised in a tough environment and you had to adapt? You had to fight. You had to face confrontation head on, and the last thing you could do was show any sign of weakness. All of this was beneficial in your previous environment. Now that you're out the hood, that aggression, that explosive anger, that 0 to 100 real quick is not as beneficial. It's actually a detriment. It's maladaptive in mainstream society. But you're still always one impulse away from getting fired, hurting somebody, and or ending up in jail. You can't just turn it off because you've been like that, raised like that for 18 years. And it only takes 21 days to form a habit, right? Here's a secret. Especially as a black man or woman, at certain points, you gotta let people think that you're pussy. You gotta let people think that. One of my ex-girlfriends told me that, and it stuck with me because I had that ego. You don't have to be a pussy, yet you have to let people think you're a pussy at times. Because every battle is not worth fighting. Fight the wrong battle, and you will lose plenty of sweat and blood with little to no return on your investment. Get help with that anger management courses, counseling for impulse control, and be proactive. You might even want to recall some situations where you lost your cool and think of alternative responses to that situation in preparation for the future when similar incidents may occur. One brief story where I had to control my impulse. It was a situation with an ex-lover. We were at the tail end of a long-term relationship. She was trying to push me away and screw me over in a million different ways, but that's a different story. Basically, our argument started about a single sock I supposedly left on the floor next to the bed, on the side of the bed. Keyword supposedly. I think she planted it there to stir up an argument. Long story short, I stated, this a petty argument. Stop pestering me about bullshit. I just worked 12 hours. She walks up and lets loose a glob of spit in my face. Right. I know most of you would have uppercut her lame ass across the street like Deebo did Red. And I felt that impulse too. But the thing was, I already knew this woman was trying to get me arrested. She hadn't called the police for no reason before. She was trying to get a hold of my possessions. Plus I had a couple kids. If I knocked her out, by the time the police arrived, the spit might have done dried up. And honestly, I'd be done wipe that shit off my face anyway. I ain't leaving no damn spit on my face for 5 to 10 minutes. It was a glob, like right under my eye, and it was rolling down my face. So if I hit her, there was probably no way I can prove that she spit. And even if I did, they probably might decide that that wasn't a reason to knock her ass out, being that I'm a man. Now I'm locked up, I'm losing income, probably fired from a job, got a domestic violence charge on my record, and in a situation with my kids. That's if I had reacted on that initial impulse. In the moment, I had to think and react or not react quickly. But I did do what any rational man would do. I snorted up a glob of phlegm, mucus, spit from the pits of my soul. I snorted so hard and long, I tried to pull up some goddamn gut juice from my stomach, along with some dookie from my colon. Mucus fatality, ho. Deebo is anything robbing you of your peace and anything in the way of your purpose. My mindset is, I can do anything. It's all about what I choose to do. Adopt that mindset if you don't have it. Let's man up, put the work in, and after all is said and done, we'll be telling Deebo,
you got